stand, and one shall fall.
Yeah. New kids on the block, we here making it pop. Don't care if you like it or not. The spot we want is the top. The head nerds in charge and R4C to making things happen. If you think you heard what you thought you heard, go ahead and play that thing backwards. Coming out them speakers in the car in the man cave. The mother bus is about to be knocked off the airwaves. So be very afraid. Better check your gameplay. Sitting on all that and finna take away your fan base. The stage is set. Better put respect up on our name. What you get right now, you get it later. A consistent game, a steady dosage. Once you started, you can get enough. The people's chant ain't a topic we ain't finna touch. So bring your A game, cause the boys behind the mic finna do the same thing. One time for the one time, let it off like bang bang. We aiming to be the greatest. We accepting any challenge. With a snap of the finger, bringing balance. Let's make it happen. You tuned in to the place to be. You tuned in to HNIC.
Head nerds in charge.
You tuned in to the place to be. You tuned in to HNIC.
Forget about the way it used to be. This is not a damn democracy. We are in a state of emergency, and my word is law. There's only one boss in this place, and that's me. The HNIC.
Hey, what it do? We are back. Tef was talking greasy about 5 seconds ago. I just need y'all to know she was talking real heavy.
I'll still be talking heavy. What you mean?
See, and this is the problem. This is why Sassy ain't want to be here tonight to deal with your foolishness.
Wow.
That's
not what she said.
That is exactly what she said. She said, Kurt, is Tef going to be there? I was like, yeah, Sass. You know, she kind of keeps showing up. She was like, forget this mess. I ain't with it. Tell Phoe-Nix I love him. Tell Tef mom I love her, but I'm not dealing with her foolishness no more. And I honestly, I gotta kind of agree with her. I'm ready to leave the show too.
I mean, I can do it without y'all.
I knew you was gonna say that. She was like, I know we're good. I know we're good. Listen.
I'm gonna be Gucci either way.
Lord, she got that drip, y'all. Listen, head nerds in charge. We know we kind of late. We always say we're here from 8 to 10, but 8 to 10 can be relative when you're depending on black people. So, thank you to Don Magic Wand to make sure that we on the wheels and steals, the ones and twos. He's laughing in the background because he know he is nigga late. We are well past color people time. We are knee deep in niggerdom. It is a lot of niggerosity going on right now. Yeah, definitely. We ate some ribs earlier. Had the itis. We just woke up.
Say y'all cook out late.
Yeah, we black church late. You know. Listen, we are doing the best we can with what we got, but what we do have for you is some interesting folks. We got some new people here and a couple old cousins that decided to stop by. You can kind of get the feel that the energy is right. It's a, would you say the Saturn is in the Gatorade?
No, today Saturn went direct. That means, settling of account. Whatever you was doing that past 5 months.
Got you.
Gonna see all that stuff come back on folks. Everybody all wound up.
Is that what it is?
A lot of people are tired after retrograde season, man. Everybody go through it.
I'm about to say it's a full Sailor Moon out here tonight. People going crazy. But we got my man.
Bless you.
We got my man 50 Grand, one of our favorite cousins from Black Label Con. Why don't you come on, slide up a little bit? Because you don't be trying to be on your gangster lane. I know how you do. We got a little something in our cup.
That's what I'm saying.
Ain't nothing but that pimp juice. I want to smell it. Why don't you go ahead and tell the people who you be?
Phoe-Nix Nebula. What you want? I'm an artist.
What you want?
What you want? You know what I mean?
I want it all. They need to know who they talking to.
Well, I started this journey a while ago. Didn't think I was going to be doing art, especially stuff like this, fairies and whatnot. But my journey's taken me through many different arts. And it's becoming a very healing kind of art now.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So everything we're doing now within Chalker Nation is just to branch out into different areas, different stories, add a lot of our history to it so that we get the story from the horse's mouth. And then, what I'm doing on my free time and my spare time is just working on building my empire as well. Piece by piece.
Brick by brick?
Brick by brick.
Step by step.
You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, I'm sorry, but no. We gonna get knee deep into this.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because we got a lot to talk about. A lot happened over this past week. I was really looking forward to you coming on because aside from being an artist, I consider you an activist. Because anybody that's in the trenches trying to tell our stories the way it's supposed to be told, I consider that the highest form of black activism because our media controls the population. Period. Right. But you had a unique experience.
Definitely very unique.
And we gonna get into that. But to the left of my man Phoe-Nix Nebula, I mean, it's one thing to have one dynamic person on the show, but anybody that can go into labor, then raise a whole human being that be crazy enough to join us on this show.
Hey.
Listen, you are a dynamic woman. Maya Angelou said, well, I don't know what she said, but listen, you know, it's not even my place to do it. Tef, why don't you introduce who this person is?
So this is my lovely mother, not just my #1 fan, but also a huge supporter of us here on the show.
Where's my hype button? Listen, let me tell y'all something. I love Mom because, you know, she's basically going to have to adopt me as well.
I got you, Kurt.
Yeah, because I'm about to say, look, whatever belongs to Tef belongs to me now. So that's the way we wrote up the contract. Sorry, Tef. It's
what
just
contract?
Wow.
You
don't
ain't
do
never
that.
slid me no paperwork.
Oh, hey. Listen, don't worry. The lawyer's working on it. We got you in the building. You stopped by, and we are so super excited to have you. We have, which is fortunate because I'm assuming some of that geekdom that resonates with this young lady came from you too.
It did a little bit. You know, I came up in back when the Incredible Hulk was Lou Ferrigno. You know what I mean?
Good old Lou. Lou, if you're watching the show, I know you're not. We still love you.
We saw him in the airport about 2 years ago. We was like,
Yeah. Lou, if I see Lou, you got to rip your shirt off one time for me. Right then and there. I don't care. Just Hulk out. Lou be like, this is my 4th polo shirt. I done did this today. I'm tired of y'all fans. We're going to get knee deep into our hot topics pretty soon. But I just wanted to ask you a couple questions real quick.
Okay.
I need to know, do you know your daughter dances on a pole?
I do.
I recently saw that you joined her.
I did. That was my second class.
This is the second time y'all both was enjoying the pole dancing classes.
Mm-hmm. We did.
Tell me how this mother-daughter tandem ended up at the pole dancing classes, because
don't hear that.
That's not. I don't get to say that often. That's why I enjoy bringing it up every single time. It has become a thing.
Seriously.
Yo, people be like, Kurt ain't saying nothing about your pole dancing today, Tef.
Oh yeah, and then I was like, why did you say that? Because now he's.
Yo, I was like, oh, you know what? She's right. So how's that pole dancing going?
So it's mostly just me being like, you gotta go. I'm not giving you a choice. You have to come with me.
Yeah.
Got you. Yeah. And I see on your Instagram, Mom, you was kind of doing your thing. I saw you got the
I was trying. I got the little backwards.
The little spinny thing,
Yeah. I like the class, actually, that she made me go to in Florida, where I live.
Right.
That one, the girl told us like a whole choreography, a whole dance. And that joint was hot. And I was sore from head to literally toe.
Because there's a lot of muscles that go on there.
There's a lot that goes into it. So
you
that's why it's really called pole fitness.
Like if you would come, then you could see for yourself.
Let me tell you something. I'm an observer, and I go watch professionals.
Of the craft.
Yeah, I go watch professionals. It's expensive.
Speaking of watching professionals, my pole studio is putting on a Halloween showcase.
Here come the shameless plug. Here we go.
Down at Flaunt Fitness. I will be performing there.
Is the owner performing? That's what I want to know.
Wow.
I'm just saying, I would like to see.
Don't do my baby like that.
I want to see.
Don't do my baby like that.
You know she married.
Whoa. First of all, I am not objectifying that woman in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Check out her Instagram pictures. But what I am saying is, as an owner, she must be well versed in the dance. I love to see the newcomers, but I want to see a professional skill set as well. I'm not being nasty. I'm just saying I appreciate the craft. Sorry.
Right.
Excuse me.
Right. Do you need napkins?
No.
Should we stop?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Moving on to hot topics. Let's get right into it before I get into any trouble with our women listeners. Thank you. I apologize. Matter of fact, let me sip some Hnic before I get my hand shaking and everything. All right. So.
Kurt like cakes.
Like a fat kid love cake. Boy, you ain't never lying. I love me some honey buns. Paramount Studios is reportedly working on a face-off reboot. Do we need a face?
Why? They do it too much. Why?
So we did a poll, and surprisingly, it kinda was like 65% wanting a reboot.
Like
for it.
So I was kind of for it, but only if they get Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman to do it because of their little like friend rivalry.
I would kind of like to go back to Prestige if you're going to do it. Get Christian Bale, and let's do it again. Let's just do the exact same thing if you're going to do it.
Right.
But I don't need another face-off.
Nobody needs another face-off.
Not another face-off.
It's like one of those niche movies that was super cool for the moment and let it go. Right. Like nobody needs another Running Man. Like they don't need to do another Running Man ever. They did do other Predators, but Predator 2 showed us that they shouldn't have. I don't think there's ever been another good Predator since the first one.
I liked Alien vs. Predator.
But why? Because it was the crossing of two franchises.
Oh, that's probably why.
Right, because
and then the second one stunk. The second Alien.
Well, I was about to say, there's been
both were kind of.
Okay, so let me ask y'all.
If you read the comic, that shit was suspect.
Nobody should like Predator 2, but the second Aliens was Aliens was better than the original, and I think the sequel is better. Is the best movie in the franchise.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Now I have some geeks that flat out say no.
I like the new Predator. That new one they had.
Which one?
Please tell me not the new one with Michael Keegan in it. Please
really?
Stop.
Because I'm just a geek on some other level though. He was dropping the science up in that joint. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at the movies. I do research. You know what I mean? It was better. She
hit you in the feels with that one.
And you ain't like the Predators, the one when they was on the planet?
Nah, but because
that was okay.
Well, see, that goes into the lore. That goes into the lore. That's what made Predator and Alien so deep, because the first Alien, I always say Ridley Scott did the sequels perfectly. First one's a horror movie, second one's an action movie. If you look at the Aliens franchise, third one was the one with my boy Rock, Charles Dutton, and then there's one alien that just ransacking everything. Then the fourth one was like an action type of feel. So he always did horror, action. So it gave you a different feel. Predator is just the same nigga chasing you all the time. It doesn't really deviate, which I don't mind, because the lore is what made it interesting. And like you said, what made AVP so deep was, you put the two together. It's all one world. We love that. Geeks love crossover stuff.
Right. What if
the DC TV universe capitalize off the crossover events, like for all their shows.
Crossover events and geeks go together like Kensington and heroin. I lie to you not, they love the two. And I'm just saying, it's a perfect match. And now I'm sorry, if you live in Kensington, we feel for you. We love you. Keep hope alive. But Face Off? Nah.
We just leave that alone.
Yeah, it's what, like, okay, I'm gonna give you, and Tef already told me not to do this, and you know I wasn't gonna do it. Anyway, shut up, leave it alone. Okay, so they're remaking Face Off. We already said no, right? Sylvester Stallone just came out and says he wants to redo Tango and Cash. Do you want? You did not. What?
No.
I don't even have.
You've never seen that?
Yeah.
You've never seen Tango and Cash?
Tango and Cash is like one of those. It's like the Lethal Weapons.
Yeah.
It's you never saw it in the movies. You saw it on TV while you was cleaning the house.
Right.
And isn't it? It either came on cable. My cable was bootleg, so that's another conversation. But it came on cable, and you was like, "What is this?" And you sat down and watched. You watched it in pieces. You watched 40 minutes here, 30 minutes there, and then you finally was like, "Well, you were like, oh, I finally saw the whole movie." You know what I mean? That's how Tango and Cash is. It's one of them kind of movies. But there's only one scene that makes Tango and Cash worth it. It's the final scene where they do like an 18 thing, and they put all these turret guns, and they get the car. Remember the car? Oh, that car was dope. But you saw it? Do you want another Tango and Cash?
I want something original. I want some more creativity shown. It's like we rehashing everything, and it's taking the value away from it. And I can understand trying to get new viewers and the new generation and all that with the CG and updating, but at the same time, you killing the quality.
Joseph Bruno literally just said that in the chat.
You know what I'm saying?
Said all these reboots are great, but how about some original stuff?
Right. And all right, well, I'm about to piss you off a little bit more. Issa Rae has just got greenlit. Oh, what you saying after that? Oh well, you know me. I like to be spoiler. We like to be fresh. We like to be hot, fresh, and ready, like Little Caesars Pizza.
Little Caesars Pizza has never been hot and fresh. It might have been.
It is hot and ready. That's like my women. Anyway,
How much you got in that cup, man?
Listen, not enough. Listen, this is me sober. You ain't even see me when I get to drinking. Issa Rae has been greenlit to redo Please Black People Hold Your Breath, Set It Off. They're gonna redo Set It Off with 4 new heroines, a new retelling of the original.
No.
Why'd you even
Ain't
go that
nobody
far?
gonna be Queen Latifah.
Is it a hard no?
It's a hard no.
It's a hard no.
That's a hell to the no.
Hell no. Hell no.
My Bible study night, so I won't cuss.
Don't worry, I got you.
I'm sorry.
I'll take this slack.
It's mine too.
Huh?
Who would can nobody redo Queen Latifah part? Nobody.
So
Can't nobody beat Cleo.
Who? Right.
Who's gonna redo Cleo?
But that's what intrigued me about Issa Rae writing. Issa Rae is crazy talented. Like if you watch her show, you watch Insecure, if you watch a Black Lady sketch show, or hell, even go back to her web series like Misadventures of an Awkward Black Girl. She knows how to tell a story and to tell it right, especially from a colored woman's perspective. So I'm
But let's do something different though. If you got that kind of talent,
But
Right.
she
Something new
is.
to the
But that's
table.
what makes it. She is different.
I know, but I'm just saying that's a pre-existing story.
Can't we do a new story?
No,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but the premise, that ain't nothing new about that premise. There's 100 movies just like
Okay, so let me.
But they shouldn't go to set it off there because I'm going to think right back to that.
Right, exactly.
And I'm
Don't
already
use
in
that
comparison
franchise.
mode, you know what I'm saying?
And that's just like redoing Heat.
Oh,
Who gonna play Robert De Niro?
hold on.
Part?
Let me tell you something to everybody. If y'all ever touch Heat, I will level Hollywood.
Right.
Or like-
that is in
Don't
my
be
top
connected
3.
to nothing that you can't leave.
Listen, until you do right by us, everything you touch gonna fail. You can't do Heat. You can't redo Color Purple. You can't redo Malcolm X. Well, you can't redo. If you do X2, that's got to be a zombie flick. But that, either way, what I'm saying is there's certain movies you can't redo.
Right.
And Set It Off, Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society.
Usual suspect.
Woo!
This stuff.
Well.
It's like classical music, man. You know.
Y'all don't hear him. Go ahead, Phoe-Nix. Get the preacher, because I'm gonna back you up.
Give me the fucking keys you got.
Listen,
like
Kevin
none of
Spacey.
that.
These are not sequel-esque movies.
Right.
Now, Set It Off is a cult classic, is a cultural classic, and it is a movie for the culture because it was one of the first time you saw 4 leading ladies, though they don't have the. Remember, all 4 of these women became megastars. Vivica Fox, I'm giving you a lot of leeway.
She was a star when the movie came out.
She was one of the bigger
stars. Yeah.
Jada wasn't Jada had her movies.
Jada and Kimberly Elise weren't like big stars.
The biggest thing that I think at the time was like Jada was she was Peaches from I'm gonna get you. I mean not Peaches from Low Down Dirty Shame.
Yeah.
But she was in a supporting cast role of A Different World. It was like 47 Negroes on A Different World that blew up. I mean, if you said A Different World, Kadeem Harrison is one of the people who stand out to me. Jada, obviously.
I didn't want to do it to you because I heard your little dissertation.
Lisa Bonet, boy, if you ever get tired of Jason Momoa, just know. I know. I can wish, can I? I'm just saying. Sometimes you don't want no abs. In the wintertime, we are very plush. We are marketable in the winter. Jason's married. Yeah, Jason's married to Lisa Bonet. I mean, yeah. Jason's married. How dare you? I'm just saying.
How dare I do what?
Yeah, Tef, get your hormones together. That is disgusting. This is a children's show.
Too. Bye.
Mom said, and don't get it twisted. Y'all don't hear her. Look, Lee set it off alone. I think outside of Tef saying she wouldn't have mind saying what Issa Rae could do with it.
It'll be different. Like it'll be like it may share the same title, but I think it'll be different.
My man Hassan Warren said you cannot touch House Party, Back to the Future, and Big Trouble in Little China. Yes. Okay, so 2 out of 3 of those I 100% agree with. Absolutely. I actually have a remake for Back to the Future with black people. I'm sorry, I want it made in Hollywood.
Black people need to be going back to the past.
Because Marty McFly is going to be casted as Childish Gambino is going to be it.
What?
Yeah. What? I got this great concept. I don't want to tell anybody. No. Come on, because he had kids, Jules and Vern, so they can. I'll talk about it later. Back to the Future, I agree with you. Because that's what it's called. I done told y'all the title. If y'all come up with it, I'm telling you, I know you stole it from my show. It's called Black to the Future.
No, that Big Trouble in Little China definitely.
Yeah. What?
Can't touch it.
Can't touch it.
Can't touch it.
Golden Child, you can't touch.
Can't touch that.
No.
Okay, now this is the last one because Tess says I always do this. I always ramble off on one topic for too long. But they're coming out with Coming to America 2. It's not a reboot. It's not a remake. It's a sequel. But to me, Coming to America, if you'd have asked me 2 years ago, I never wanted them to touch that movie.
I still don't.
I agree. I don't think it's going to be as good. Like Harlem Nights, Coming to America.
First of all, you can't replace those actors.
Right. Well, they're not. They're bringing everybody back.
Well, yeah, they brought everybody back. Even Huey. I mean, not who's my and next time I'm on Fries. Oh, come on. I forgot his name. His name is Huey something.
Yeah.
The white dude, fat white boy. Y'all know who I am.
No, that's Louis.
Louis, because he had the cartoon.
Wait, does he still
Louis Anderson. There it is. Yeah, Louis Anderson, and he looks bad, but he did just get done. He posted to his Instagram that he had. He's the manager of McDonald's now, which makes sense. McDowell's. They got the Big Mac. We got the Big Mick. Look, certain things you don't touch, and certain things you might get a little leeway with. But there are those hood classes. I think Set It Off is one of them that you kind of stay away from.
I would like to see Issa Rae, if she's going to do it, treat it like what's the girl from Blackish? Marseille Martin. How she did Little.
Right.
Now that was a different. Right. She flipped it, so she gave it a different spin. She gave it a nice taste. You know, again with our flavor. I would like to see her Set It Off that way, but call it something else.
Agreed. That's all I'm asking.
Something fresh.
That's all I'm at. All I'm asking is take the premise and the concept. You could take 4 women who are fed up for whatever reason, and they do a bank heist. That's a simple premise. You don't have to call it Set It Off Again, because it's gonna be something dumb. Set it off again. Set it off one more time.
Didn't they just do that with
one more again?
The movie Kitchen.
Yes. We about to set this motherfucker on.
Isn't that Hustlers?
Yo, Hustlers. Even the one with my girl from How to Get Away with Murder. They just did the joint where her husbands all died.
Yeah. No, that's not not the kitchen.
Widows.
Widows, yeah, widows. If you want to support, and the sad part is, the geek community, y'all want original stuff. Y'all cry for original stuff, and they dropped Widows, and it was a phenomenal movie that didn't do well in the theater, so you'll never get another one of those. So this is why you get the bull crap called "Set It Off One More Again." Set it off one more again, because you wouldn't support one more again. Come on. Either way, I get the rambling and then our viewers go down, so I ain't tripping. Netflix accidentally posted the release date to Witcher, starring Henry Cavill, and apparently it's coming in December. And Cavill, is that what the name?
Keep saying Cavill.
Cavill? I don't
Cavill.
even know how to pronounce black people names. Speaking of Henry Cavill, what is Cavill? I think Cavill, look, you know, like 101 Dalmatians. All right, he's rumored to be considered leaving DC for Marvel and possibly playing Wolverine.
No, he's too tall.
Well, so is Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman was tall.
No, Hugh Jackman is not tall.
Yes, he is. He's over 6 foot.
Is he?
Yeah,
he's not
big. Wolverine is 4'11".
He does not look that tall.
Yeah, he is.
Especially in the movies compared to everybody else.
I would say in none of his movies has he looked.
No, he's over 6 foot though. Anyway, until you get a midget, Danny DeVito should be Wolverine if he bulked up, because he's 4'11".
Danny DeVito also way too old.
Oh, all right. Well, then get Henry Dinkler, whatever the bald is from Game of Thrones, the little person. Y'all ain't getting
Peter Dinklage.
That's what I said.
That's not what you
If you got a problem, you can kiss my Peter Dinklage. All I'm saying is you got to get somebody little to do it, or at least somebody compact and husky.
What about Taron Egerton?
You gotta be like stocky,
Who?
man.
Taron Egerton.
The boy from Sing.
Or from
Sing.
The Kingsman.
Sing. He was Sing. He was in Sing. Yeah, he was the gorilla.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, that's what I know him from. I do like Kingsman though.
Yeah.
He's too pretty. Wolverine has always been the grizzled veteran on the X-Men. Now, remember, this is a dude that's traveled over what? He fought in the Civil War, Revolutionary War, First War.
Put some dark hair on him, some hair on his
I mean,
face.
maybe, yeah, if they do the prosthetic thing, but once again,
I like to see somebody new.
there are millions of people trying to break into Hollywood. We can't find somebody new for these people. Which actually is interesting, because we're going to talk about some X-Men casting a little bit later on, and altogether, because there's a lot going on.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny how comic books, politics, and social commentary have always blended together, but even more now because comic books are so mainstream that we can have more of these social commentary conversations in a geek format, which is going to be great because that's going to be our last topic. But trying to get back on track before Tef cuts me out. I think we're all in agreement.
Don't put that on me.
Yeah, I am definitely putting it on you. That's why Sassy's not here. We're tired of your stuff.
Sassy, could you do me a favor?
She's in the chat too. Sassy, don't tie. Sassy, just put your fingers down, baby. Just put your fingers down. Don't
have Kennedy come back.
Wow, you gonna bring up nobody's.
I
don't blink. Anywho. Oh, and Joseph Bruno said he's 6'2". Wow.
Yeah. I did not think he was that.
Yo, he is definitely that tall.
My height. He's tall.
Yeah. All right. So, let's see what we got. Margaret. See, I was about to say Margaret. Margaret. Margot. It's got a T on the end of it.
So?
Is the T silent?
That's not public school education.
No, because you know what? I never understood that. How is it knife? It should be knife. It makes no sense.
Bro.
It makes
it's English.
It should be Philadelphia. Never mind. Anywho, Margot Robbie is making a Tank Girl reboot. Can we stop, please?
I like Tank Girl.
I don't like Tank.
I like Margot Robbie. But I was like, are they gonna bring Ice-T back as the? They gonna bring Ice-T back as the kangaroo bull?
I'm tired of talentless white women getting casted. And can I? No, was that too real?
There it is.
That was way too real. I'm sorry, Margaret. If you watch the show, you know, sucks to be you. Listen. Look, that's all. That's what I'm saying. You're Harley Quinn. You got a Harley Quinn lane. Stop trying to branch into characters that are Harley Quinn-esque because you don't have the range to do anything. Okay, name me 2 other things that she's done that's been worth talking about. Thank you.
Wait,
Moving on.
She did. She was the queen in some movie over in England. Yes, she was.
I'm waiting.
Are you saying no?
It was trash. Doo-doo. Straight poo-poo. Flies are on it. It's dead. Done.
Next.
Do I gotta play Thriller Night? Because it's dead and gone. It didn't died and came back. Dun 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 dun. See, now you Googling. Ain't nobody got time for you to Google nothing. Yo, moving on.
Responding to someone in the chat.
No. You see what I said? I gave her a clear opportunity to quantify.
I'm not a super big fan of hers, but I.
Oh, so then why are you protecting the white woman?
No, I'm saying I'm not.
Oh, that's what you do.
protecting
You just
her.
the white savior today, huh?
Wow. I just like defending women from trash bags blowing in the breeze.
When she does make a good point, I have to acquiesce.
Exactly.
Crowns off to you, madam. You are absolutely right. She's still trash. Anywho, now we can talk about something that's worth talking about. Girlfriends is gonna be on Blackish. I actually love that sitcom. Don't look at me like that. Girlfriends was a great sitcom. That and Living Single. Don't judge me.
Living Single was hot.
Yo, wasn't Living Single dope?
Yeah, it really was.
Yo, listen. To this day, Kyle Barksdale? Barker. Hey, what I call him? Barksdale?
I don't know, man.
Guys from The Wire. I'm terrible with names if y'all haven't noticed. But Kyle and Max love. Look, that was the first toxic relationship that showed me that I could find love. But Blackish has always transcended the culture and integrated a whole new flavor into television and mainstream sitcoms. Girlfriends, yeah. Larry, the only reason. Listen, John Wick and Blackish, the only reason why Larry can keep up with his car payments. I'm telling you right now. I'm just saying. I mean, he got that royalty money, but let's keep it 100 here. Ain't nobody checking for Larry besides that. Are you excited at a possible reboot of a TV show? No, you don't want a Girlfriend's TV show?
Not a reboot.
With Cardi B?
You gonna make me fight?
And Meg Thee Stallion?
Actually, yes.
And Lizzo?
I would watch that.
Yeah.
I would watch that.
Listen.
24 hours a day, baby.
I don't know. Were you a fan of Girlfriends? No.
It was alright.
Did you watch it? No.
Something has to be real special.
I got
I'm not
excited.
a big TV person. So.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Blackish is everything.
Taryn Daniel in the chat said Mixed-ish looks interesting. What's Mixed-ish?
It's about the mom growing up.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't they got Childish?
Grownish.
Which Grownish?
Grownish is the daughter.
Niggerish? When is Niggerish coming out?
Wow, that's your
they
show.
doing so much.
And Nerds in Charge, goddamn.
That's your show.
So Mixed-ish is about
It's about
Tracy Allen Ross.
Tracy Ellis Ross.
Hey, that's what I said.
That's her
That
character.
would be
Rainbow.
Diana's daughter.
Ooh, child. Let me tell you something. Diana, I don't know where you are in the world, but you still look good, girl.
Yes, she does.
And even though you got a cockeyed daughter, she is beautiful. She is cockeyed. Chris Brown.
She has a son every boy for you guys heard? Yeah, not Chris Brown. That's her son.
Chris Brown is her son?
No, the
boy looks like Chris Brown. Like, you always see him like
The dude. So basically, you just using Chris Brown as a reference.
Evan?
right.
Evan Ross. Yeah. He looks like Chris Brown. Nah, he just got,
Now that you said that, he does look like
Ooh, so Tracy Ellis Ross got a son named Evan.
a brother.
A brother.
Her brother.
Oh, Diana Ross had 2 kids.
got served in the last game.
Did Barry Gordy ever claim either one of them? Because you know Barry was smacked. I'm about to say Barry, I don't know what you listen. You was doing more in the Motor City than you talk about. Alexa said, "Look, me and my mom used to watch Girlfriends together." So Alexa, do you want to see a reboot of it? I mean,
She said no. Actually,
Wow.
right above that.
Did she
goes,
say-
not a reboot?
you know what? Y'all a bunch of haters, and you know what? You don't love Jesus. Tom Holland says his Marvel co-stars are like family to him. Aw. And will be sad to lose them if Spidey is truly out of the MCU.
This story gets sadder and sadder every week, like every couple of weeks.
I'm tired of it.
It's like, poor babe.
Listen, Tom, just deal with it. You losing that check, bro. It's almost.
Nah, because Sony apparently going to keep him on. He's contractually obligated.
Right. Yeah.
To keep it up with Sony. Like, now how much money that's going to make? Whatever, because he getting paid up front.
Every actor dreams about being a part of the MCU now. It's like, because it's just a cash cow. I mean, if you get into the MCU in any role, you know you're going to make regular bread. So when he first got signed on, he got signed on young as a kid. He had a 9-movie deal. Nobody thinks, oh no, now. It's like getting to Disney World and find out niggas took over it. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. Goofy's a pit bull. Mickey Mouse is a rat. It's just, they got that. I'm sorry, I'm embarrassing, Tess. So what? Oh, you thought I was gonna be different because your mama here? No. I'm gonna be the same trash bag I've been for the last 47. How many episodes are we up to? 57. They ain't cut us off yet. We have 57 episodes. Wow, that's a lot of episodes. And how many has Tef been on for? Really? I try to keep that thought out of my mind because she be doing me dirty.
Pause.
Oh, you do? No, you be nasty. Not in front of your mom. You terrible. Anywho, moving on. Louis Tan calls out the new I saw this. All right, so Louis Tan calls out new SNL cast member for his previous racist comments against Asians. All right,
and he got fired. He's from Philly, you know that.
Can we? Okay, I would love to get your opinion on this.
Right, he got fired. The show,
Phoe-Nix.
The season hadn't even started.
Yeah, he definitely got fired. Dave Chappelle has been under fire. Kevin Hart has been under. This is where I would love to get your opinions on things because we've talked about this at length. So, Kevin Hart said some things against the LGBTQ community in a joke about his son, about how I beat the gay out of him. If you just recap it. Dave Chappelle, also, what did he call the letter people and all that. He said a lot more than that, but and we won't get into that. Now this is interesting because this is not so much.
So
go ahead.
What I think is interesting about that is that guy Shane, whatever his last name is, he actually the clip from his podcast is from over a year ago. He actually dropped a lot of that stuff from his act. As he got as a better comedian, I guess. So he was like, well, I was funny enough to get on SNL. Yeah, but not back then. Back then you were and I was like, and I get it. You got to go through your growing pains, find out what's funny, what's not. He was called himself trying to be edgy, as they all do.
I think alphabet people. Right. That's what they call.
So as they all do when they just say something outlandish, like, oh, I was just trying to get attention. Like, boy, sit down. You can get attention without being racist.
But Kevin Hart's joke was years ago as well.
Right.
And it was a joke.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, what he said wasn't funny.
Oh, I don't know what he said.
What he said, if you watch the clip from the podcast, it's actually, tragically unfunny. It's like, wow, you really let that come out of your mouth?
Is it Michael Richardson unfunny? Like the bull Kramer from Seinfeld when he was just basically calling people. Yeah, remember that?
No, when he but that was different. He broke
he broke character and was like, y'all all are niggas. Nigga. I mean, that's how my barbecue sound like, but that's because we black. We allowed that is a free word in the black community. That is not for white folk. But my thing is, if somebody, you can't beat people up for trying to improve themselves. If they were trash before and they're trying to be a little less trash, if they trying to go from glad bag to shopping bag in the bathroom, the little shopping bag you put in the bag, because black folk, we don't use bathroom trash bags.
If you don't put a liner in your bathroom trash, you are too.
No, they're about to say we don't use no liners. We use that same ShopRite bag.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. If you don't put a bag.
But that's what I'm saying. If you're trying to downgrade your trash baggery, how do you go back then and punish somebody for saying, "Hey, I realized I was offensive and now I'm trying to be different.
Did he apologize? Because
I didn't say he had to hold on. I didn't say he had to apologize. What I said is a lot of self-reflection. You can just be self-reflective. I mean, that's that 12-step program stuff where you got to go back and apologize to everybody. I ain't apologizing to half the niggas I done did dirty. But what I am going to do is try to make all the new people that I interact with realize that I'm still trash, but not as trashy. You get what I mean?
Right.
So going forward.
Look, it's funny we're talking about this today. I'm here for training, for work, and we were talking about cultural sensitivity. I'm a manager, okay? So we were talking about that, and we were giving examples of the fact that this is still an issue. We were talking about it in the 80s, in the 90s. We're still talking about it. 16 years ago, when I moved to Florida, I'm sitting in a conference room with other employees. I'm from Philly, okay?
Right.
You ask me a question, I answer.
And it's going to be direct.
Why are people running out here crying? You asked me a question, I answered. Or you shot from the hip at me, I shot back. What you crying for?
We do bust back.
I sincerely didn't get it.
Right.
But it's 16 years later, I have learned, I'm still from Philly, I'm still the same person,
right.
But I am now a manager. I have learned how to temper that.
Right.
On the other hand of that, back then, I had a manager tell me, you can never be a manager because as a black woman, you're too excitable. Ooh. And y'all get angry too fast.
I got nervous.
But you know what I said to her? Oh, okay. You just another obstacle I have to get past. I ain't get offended. You just an ignorant.
Other brother.
I didn't. I saw her for who and what.
But see, that's always been
at that time
a misconception, and one of the worst stereotypes for black queens is that they're excited. You know, angry black woman has always been a thing. So and that's why it honestly, you very rarely. Very rarely do you see like a lot of black women comedians reach the same level as an Ellen. Like when you talk about greatest comedians of all time, the top 5 list will have at least 3 black people in it. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. George Carlin might be up there, and you might get a Jerry Seinfeld, or what's the boy that was diddling himself in front of people? C.K. Lewis.
No.
C.K. They them white folks love C.K. Lewis. I don't get it. But they consider him a top. But you know, when you say Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, boom, right there. That you right there in your top 5.
Everybody laughing.
But my thing is, name a black female comedian that's up at that echelon.
Whoopi was up there.
Now here's my thing. But what has Whoopi done comedically that's been relevant? Lately, it's been years.
She was up there.
There you go. Right, when she was with Billy Crystal, and even then, to get the credit, she had to be with Billy Crystal and Robin Williams.
She was by herself.
I'm not. See, I'm not.
Go back to HBO.
You're right. Whoopi don't do it for me. I'm gonna keep it 100. Now Wanda is there, but she's not. You're not gonna put her in the top 10 of all comedians.
Nah. I think so. I think she's hysterical.
All right. Well, you know what, Tef, obviously you have no comedic chops. I'm just messing with you, Tef. Comedians, I think comedians get a wide berth. Whether you forgive a comedian for his racist comments or not is really up to you.
I think part of the reason though is had he been upfront with them about it, like
he didn't tell them?
Nah. And then he there was evidence that he went back and tried to delete it. Oh. So I'm like, had he been upfront about it and was like, hey, listen, I was kind of garbage back in the past. I said some stuff that I probably shouldn't have said.
Yo,
it probably would have
Fanny Austin in the chat, and I guess this is a reoccurring problem because Taryn is agreeing. She said we can't be passionate, only excitable, angry, or combative. And Fanny Austin, she says when I express my displeasure at work, I'm told to calm down. And I'm the program manager.
Well, I told
they telling the program manager, you need to simmer down, black lady.
No, well, I told you just a couple of weeks ago, I had a manager told me that my QA told me that I was and I can be.
Damn, I get that
Do you
all
still
the
want your job? Because remember, they can see
Oh, I
this.
don't work there.
All right, we good. Because you know I don't care. Look.
Don't nobody from there watch this.
Yo, I've already had to sit in front of my job as lawyers and be like, they're like, all right, look, you can't talk about this, this, and this. I was like, I do need this job.
No,
How y'all?
It was like I told her she wasn't as good at her job as she thought she was, but I'm intimidating.
Told her about herself.
I'm intimidating and
And
aggressive.
can I ask you a question? What ethnicity would this?
Boy, you know.
Tell by the words, man.
Yeah, you see, when she tried to white explain it to me. I was like, oh, I know what this means. Go ahead.
Exactly.
Well, to my sisters, just know you can be passionate because you're Nubian warriors. Keep chucking them spears. I don't know if that was the right thing to say. Either way. Listen, Mom, you just went through Cincinnati. Wait a minute, she just went through the Cincinnati church. Can I call somebody a spear chucker in a positive light? No. If I say, hey, you're a warrior, chuck them spears, isn't that a positive thing?
If he a warrior and he got a spear.
Okay. She said, I love how she was like, but he has to have the spear. You can't be a proverbial spear.
No, you can raise your spears in solidarity. Chucking them would be.
But what's the point of having a spear if you ain't gonna chuck it? Exactly. Moving on.
Oh, Taryn was like Wakanda forever.
Are you finished? Are you done? I love this. Next topic. White women getting away with everything. Felicity Huffman gets 14 days in... why I gotta read this? You gonna do this to me? I was just having a good day. We was really feeling good about ourselves, and you... All right, we about to do this.
That's the baby in the back.
Oh, you know it's about to get ugly. And I want to get your opinions on it, but it's been a heck of a day. Like he said, Uranus is in Gatorade. And the sun is above the equinox, and the Mitsubishi Galant is. What up?
Uranus.
White women getting away with everything. Felicity Huffman is 14 days in jail for college admissions scandal, and a white woman kills her baby, buries it in the backyard, and was found not guilty.
And there was also that sister that got shot. They said she was
pregnant and caught charge. Well, that's
there was a lot behind that, man.
So that was
Go ahead,
4 weeks ago, and that's kind of a point I was making. Is like, I was like, are you serious?
But why are we surprised?
We're not.
We're not. You know what I'm saying? Like they've been getting away with this forever in different.
But it's like the black mother, like Tanya, I forget what her last name. She was homeless and used a babysitter's address to come into. She's in jail for 5 years, and there was a lady a couple of years ago, another single black mother, who used her father's address because the son stayed with the granddad during the week to get him into like a better school, a better neighborhood, and then they like pulled that kid out of school, did like this whole investigation and everything, and then here,
but she got real time.
Yeah.
She got real time. That
Yeah, but that one. Wasn't she already on probation for something?
Was she?
So the one with the son.
Regardless though, you're talking about sending the kid to school and then burying the kid in the backyard.
Well, hold on. Let's keep everything. And when we have these discussions, even though I joke a lot, I have to take the crown off of this. We have to make sure that we put it in its proper context. The young woman who went to jail for trying to find a better education system outside of what the laws in her state said as a black woman did serve time. Now, whether she had probation or not, I don't know. But there also was the college scandal where it is proven, where it's proven that she bribed the admissions and she took a deal, which is two different things other than getting convicted, and took a deal. Now, burying the young lady that buried her infant child in the backyard goes to the correlating story is what Phoe-Nix was talking about, where the young woman got into an altercation with the police shot her, but because she was pregnant and got into the altercation with the police,
they said she started
it, the baby got hurt, so they charged her.
She was released though.
Right, but what I'm saying, the fact that she was even charged.
That was crazy.
Now, when you line them up properly, because I know we're taking it all as one subject, but it's really two different instances, two different things, and different circumstances in both of those things. At the end of the day, I think we all can concur, and let's just set the barometer. We all can concur that, by and large, African Americans get longer sentences, harsher disciplines, bigger punishments, less leeway in the criminal court system in America.
All the time.
Now, I know we might not have all the facts and details of each and every story because people meme stuff and they don't give a whole, because I'm quick with that. Because once I see a meme, I'm like, before I get angry, let me see what happened.
Research, somebody just trying to turn it up.
Because my thing is like the young lady, I think it's absurd that you shoot her and you charge her with hurting her child. Yeah. But should she be disciplined for starting, so they say, I'm taking it with a grain of salt, starting an altercation with law enforcement?
Was it with law enforcement? Okay. Because I didn't hear. Like, it was like a family dispute or whatever. I thought.
But what is starting an altercation with law enforcement when you could just be standing still?
You could just be looking funny and shit.
Or get your tail whooped.
Listen, you could be following commands and get popped. Philando Castile ain't do nothing but what he was supposed to do and got popped.
Yeah, right. That story I tried to show you earlier, those three little boys standing at the bus stop on Cecil B. Moore waiting for the tree, and the cops started harassing them, pulled one of the boys off, and put him in the back of the car. The bus was down.
Yeah, I saw that. I wasn't a fan of that. But Joseph Bruno said something. I'm gonna let you talk right after this. Joseph Bruno said something interesting, and I always go back to this myself. I don't think it was because she was white, but because she was rich. There's racism and there's classism. And let me tell you something. Classism, though we don't talk about it, supersedes racism any day of the week. Because guess what? You could be, hold on, hear me out. If you're rich, black, poor, white, same level. Trust me, money is the only thing that elevates you. But once you're rich white, you're on a whole nother plateau. And there's one that unfortunately, we always chase to aspire to be, but we will never attain because what was this country founded on? Nothing but rich white men.
Right.
Actually, let me even quantify it even more. Rich white male is the highest echelon. Because rich white women, no matter how good they are, they'll always still be women. This is a patriarchy. No disrespect to my ladies on the panel, but this is a patriarchy, and women will always, and that's why I always say, unfortunately, the black woman is the most denigrated human being in existence, in history, on earth, because not only is she a woman, she's an African American, and don't be a poor black woman, USOL. Now, with that said, would you say it was more about money, that she could pay off everybody, or the fact that she was white?
No, money. Money.
But if you had to pick one, what was more than the other?
Money.
I knew she was rich, so it wasn't really going to be nothing.
All right. Well, because that's what I'm saying.
If she had money to pay for her daughters to get into college, she had money to get out.
She can pay to stay out of jail.
Exactly.
Whoa. See, I love it.
Told her how to do it.
I love the fact that all our listeners, big ups to y'all, because y'all always bring up great points, and we always try to make sure that we talk about them, live in show. Alexa Trotter says, R. Kelly, for instance, got away with.
That's what I was about to say too. And the bull went to the other. It's ridiculous.
Rich black man got away with sexual assault of children, which is one of the most
rape. Say it what it is. It's rape.
I put it all. I put it all in one. It's all sexual assault, but out of respect, raping, even if it was consensual, it still wasn't consent. I say sexual assault because of the letter of the law. That's why, because I make sure to quantify things as accurately as possible. Yes, would I consider it rape? Yes, that is my personal opinion. What was he actually charged with? He was charged with sexual assault. I know, Tav, don't look. You ain't got to grind me up. I'm on your side. I'm with you. What I'm saying is,
I don't like flowery language when we're talking about violence against women.
I'm not flowering nothing. I get you. I'm with you. Look, after that nigga.
Look, R. Kelly came on in the car today, and I was like, nope.
They playing his music?
Oh yeah, they
It
still.
came on my phone. I had it on my phone.
Oh, you still got it on your phone
And
system.
I was
delete
like,
that.
oh,
Well, and okay, Addison, you about to start a whole problem. He said, ain't her fault that she's rich and white. She benefits from both, but it would be nice if she used her powers for good after this. She ain't Dr. Doom. She ain't got to use, look.
she's like, well, no, because she's got community service as part of it.
Oh, please, nobody give
But
Pick
she's
up some
not
trash.
Go to a
Fuck
soup
outta here.
kitchen,
I'm not doing this with
slop
y'all.
some food.
I ain't doing this with y'all.
She probably won't even show up and then mark it off. You know what I'm saying? On
Right.
some. She can get away with that.
Yeah, I'm not doing this with y'all, and we already passed the
If I had
late
money,
9
I'd send
o'clock
somebody
hour.
down that look like me.
Yo, look, we have, y'all don't understand. We have so much. All right, so if that one ticked you off, I'm gonna kind of gloss past some of this a little bit because we got Killer Mike coming up, we got Black Magneto coming up, we got a couple things coming up. What I want to do is I want to give y'all a break, get you a breather, sip a little bit of Hennessy, and get a little drink in you. What's the trailer that we got coming up next, Don? What is it? Batwoman season 1. All right, so after Tef, then I already put the foot in my behind to my ladies, to my queens, and I mean, unfortunately, Batwoman ain't black, but you know what? Hey, look, there's powerful white women out there too. We're gonna play Batwoman season trailer. We got it for you lot. We'll be right back.
Crows and order, security, safety.
Batman gave up on us. The Bat's not coming back.
Something's up. Eyes everywhere.
Hello, said Alice. Shall we believe the crows will protect us?
Agent Moore, do you copy? Do you copy?
Sophie's missing. I thought you should know.
Hey, Dad.
We're gonna find her.
Then let me help.
Bad idea. Where'd you get this? What happened to staying out of it?
Is there something you'd like to report to your squad?
I'ma take you down.
We ran in with a proper backup.
I do not want her getting in the way.
Curiouser and curiouser. What do you want? I need you to send your father a message.
You're all I have left, Kate. And I don't want to lose you too.
Wayne Security. You owe my boss a new door.
Your boss is my cousin.
You don't want to go to any of that. You were seriously not supposed to know what's down there.
So I have this thing with rolls. I need you to fix his suit.
The suit is literal perfection.
It will be. When it fits a woman.
You're a female Bruce Wayne.
Awesome, hilarious, handsome. They think I'm him. I'm not about to let a man take credit for a woman's work.
We are back. It was getting real. We ready to get back to the conversation. Tef Mom had to step out. drop a deuce real quick, but when she get back, we gonna get a shot.
Man, you said that.
I'm just joking. I'm only playing. I gotta drop a deuce. That's why. I said I would hold it and pinch this loaf till we get done.
So gross. So gross.
Listen, me and my cousins, we don't have no TMI. We just talk. We keep it 100. They know when I got gas. Jamil Hill. Did I say it right?
I have no idea.
Wow. I rely on you, and this is what happened. Come on, Mom.
I thought it was Jamila.
Is it Jamila? I thought it was a woman.
Yeah.
It was a woman. Yeah, because I said
that's
Jamil.
how you said it.
Lord, Father in heaven, forgive me, Jamila. Because I'm with you on this. Jamila says she's calling for black athletes to join historically black college and universities over rich, predominantly white institutions to help HBCUs bring in more money, which would help overall. She was called a racist and a pro-segregationist. I know how to pronounce the regular words as names, nigga. Don't do that to me. Martin Luther King would be, I got this. By the right-wing, lobbyists. All right. Ooh. So,
wasn't wrong.
All right. Let's surmise this. Hey, black students, especially you athletes, that these white colleges make buku dollars off of y'all, go to a HBCU, be super talented over there, and bring money into their institutions, which builds up a black infrastructure and a black economy within a black school and bring them to the same prominence as their white counterparts. Did I surmise it pretty accurately?
Yes.
Interesting caveat to this, in California, they just passed legislation that allows for NCAA players to profit from the endorsement money that they get.
Good.
I think that should be the case across the board. Now, is it considered pro-segregationalism, or are we just talking about building up our own communities? Because whenever we start talking about us and not them, that is a form of segregation, which is ironic because...
I'm about to say, because this is some bullshit.
How is it segregationalist if you're looking to build up people who have been oppressed for so long and bring their level?
All right, Mama,
it'll never be even, but at least bring us up out the gutter. How is that segregationalist? Because what they did back in the past.
Like Asians and
Jews. Hold on.
Exactly. But when we had our
by
own,
the definition,
they came and burned it down.
Listen, wait, don't do this. Listen,
come on, Phoe-Nix.
No,
come on, Phoe-Nix. When we had our own, they came and burned it down.
Listen, y'all don't understand, and I'm gonna tell you why. I got it. Wait, you almost. It's not the segue, but I gotta tease it.
Okay.
I gotta tease it. Phoe-Nix had the unique opportunity to actually go to Black Wall Street, or at least where it was.
Eric Cooper.
And
we did.
And he got. There's so much in what he has to say about that experience. But Mama, she hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
We had a Black Wall Street. We had. Don't admonish me.
21 millionaires.
But hear me out. Don't admonish me for acknowledging that it is segregation. But we always look at segregation in a negative connotation because it was forced upon us. True. Segregation was forced upon us. Segregation means nothing more than to separate. That's what we're talking about. We are talking about, hear me? We are talking about separating, but by choice. For the betterment of a community, which I don't think is a negative thing. Let's take the negative connotation.
So I want to say we're not separating from society. We're just trying to give ourselves a better place in the existing society by turning our focus inward onto our own culture and into our own people. That's not.
When you say don't go to one, go to the other, you're separating.
Well, that's like saying don't go to this shop, right? Go to this shop.
Right, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what I'm saying.
It's a choice.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with saying that.
But it's not,
when I say buy black,
and HBCUs don't like they don't discourage, or it's not that they don't take students that aren't black.
Right,
like, they do. But they also do more for their communities and everything. And I'm like, there shouldn't be anything wrong with us doing more for our own community. Because when Asians do it, Jews, Muslims, when they all turn in on each other, turn into themselves and build up their own communities and their cities and things like that, nobody bats an eyelash. It's only when black people try and get on the come up that we trying to be stomped down and everything else.
I disagree with that, and I'll only say that to say Asians and black communities catch more heat than any other community that does business in our neighborhoods. Because the poppies could open a bodega, nobody has an issue. The Italians can open up a pizza shop, we good with that. But Asian Americans or even Asian immigrants that come into our neighborhood catch a lot of heat from us. I'll put it like this. In my experience, I'm holding our hood accountable. Now, I don't have a problem that they do that, because if you didn't get your black behind up there to go down there to get the business license to buy the building, to go ahead and do exactly what they're doing, because they give you the blueprint. It's not like they're hoarding this little secret that nobody knows about. Guess what? They come together as a community, they pool their resources, they buy a business, they allow one individual to run that business, and they all work for this one company until there's enough money to give to the next person, and then they repeat the cycle. We've been knowing that for years. But if we as a people can't come together and build community and do the exact same thing that they did at Black Wall Street, because that's essentially what Black Wall Street was, when you have capitals, you have something to be able to build off of. Look at this. Look, right now, we represent 15% of the United States. This is why I love Killer Mike. Killer Mike, I hope you
spend all that goddamn money, right?
Listen, we spend more money on BS where you could be building infrastructure, if that's what you really wanted to do. To me, forget all that. I'm 100% with every black athlete in the NFL leaving tomorrow, going to Africa and starting their own Negro League.
Why not?
Because guess what? The baseball Negro League was good enough to run the National League out of the building, but instead, what did we want to do? We wanted to integrate. We didn't make it. Satchel Paige, Jackie Robinson, you weren't. That's all I'm saying. Marcus Garvey, one of the most misunderstood and misinterpreted activists in history, in my opinion, who had one of the best plans. Get y'all black behinds up. Let's put this money together. Let's go back home. Let's buy our own sovereign land, and let's do it. And guess what? It ain't like it's impossible, because the Jewish community did it. You know what it's called? It's called Israel. Why do you think they have that fight over there? Because they went over there to the Palestinians and was like, give me that. They built their own sovereign nation. We can, as black Americans, you could do the same. Well, I'm not even going, please don't get me into Israeli-Palestine politics. I won't do it. But what I'm saying is, saying to black students, hey, go support a HBCU, go pump money into the infrastructure of the black community, is 110%, in my personal opinion, segregation. And I'm okay with that.
Okay, so let me say this to you. We had a conversation. Damn, I'm always having conversations with people.
I love it.
Last week, we were talking about how, okay, again, in South Florida, they go and they recruit the best athletes out of the black high schools and take them to schools like St. Thomas and St. Aquinas. They're selling them this thing of, you can have a better education over here
than you can at HBCU,
and we will get you seen, and then you can possibly make it to the NFL. Why should my child have to go there to a better school? Why can't the school in my neighborhood be just as good, if not better? And again, the same thing with the HBCUs. My talent stays here. I'm not segregating. I'm staying where I am. I'm staying home and I'm building home. That's not segregation.
I agree with
That's me supporting Kurt, my family, my child.
I agree with you.
That's me not watching Howard Stern or some other podcast.
I agree with you.
I'm supporting my own.
I agree with you.
We having intelligent conversations.
Right.
I don't have to go somewhere else for an intelligent conversation. I have to go somewhere else for beautiful art.
Right.
I don't have to.
And
I can pole dance with my baby.
I tell the jokes here, don't be. But now, okay, I agree with you. But now, for those who aren't you, who are at the white colleges, who are watching Howard Stern, who are at the Met looking at white art, when we walk up to them and say, hey, stop what you're doing, go over here and support black communities, black business. Now, those individuals, we are promoting. I agree with you. There's a difference between support, segregation, and separation. I'm not telling you to separate and never support. But I am saying there's, in my opinion, once again, thoughts and views of Kurt don't always translate to everybody. But I don't mind. Guess what? I segregate from niggas in my own family because they toxic.
Right.
And I ain't got no problem with that.
Right.
You know I don't like you, and you know you don't like me. We still blood. I love you, but I'm gonna love you from a distance.
Right.
To my white counterparts, you still my brother. You will always be in love. I'm a good Christian boy. I like to think that I have love for all human beings on an equal level. But I also recognize the fact that we are disenfranchised, denigrated, and disrespected race of people. So I have to focus on my people first.
Right.
And I have to build them up. But I gotta segregate from you so I can just exclusively pump my dollars till we get an equal playing field. Then we can start talking about, let's get in the race.
I have to segregate from you. I'm just not gonna give you my money. But you can still hang
just
out.
That's like a guilt trip, though. You know what I'm saying?
That's like
a
guilt trip saying, oh, well, you're not gonna. That's wrong. Like, why would you do that? You're just gonna take away from me.
How many other?
Well, you own my great granddaddy. Your great granddaddy owned my great.
This country benefited off of us, and we haven't benefited off our own talent and our own genius. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
All right, let me get to the chat, because once again, I know we be rambling, but the chat always got it. Jermaine Rockmore, big fan, always supports us. I like what you're saying, and maybe I will rechange my stance based on what you just said. It's not segregation, it's more like regrouping. I like that. And I stand corrected.
Yeah,
never say Kurt never said he wasn't wrong. I'll rechange my platform in that. Regrouping does sound.
It's all about how you word shit.
Agreed. But I don't mind segregation either. Fanny said preach, because you know we'll take it to church right up in here. Joseph Bruno says, because life is not fair, and in a perfect world it will work that way. I'm not sure what that I missed that.
Like leaving and building our own.
Got you. Mike Whitehead said racist people will always get butthurt when you try to better ourselves. True. Fanny also said build your own community, which is valid. That's the whole, I think that's the gist of what she was trying to get to. And unfortunately, in this super PC world, we already talked about it. Anytime you advocate for one over the other or any type of superiority, it's already looked at in a negative light.
Not even trying to be superior, whether we are or not, we want to be somewhat equal.
Right. And Mary brought up a good point. I don't think it's segregationist. If they were targeting other groups, would it be something else? No. People don't want to lose their funding and their W's.
That part.
That part.
The part where they're not trying to lose their money, and that's all we are to them is money. That's all.
Because they got to be quotas.
Been from slavery till now, money.
You know what? I watched something on YouTube that was surreal. They put side by side a reenactment of a slave auction and the NFL draft. Ooh, child. Let me tell you something.
I couldn't even watch
situations change. You know what I'm saying?
I have to admit, the way that they examine them black bucks and put them through physical tests, and in the draft is nothing more than an auction.
Pretty much.
Oh, don't do that, because I want to watch the Eagles on Sunday. Don't look. Yo, Cowboy fans are racist. Anyway,
Cowboys suck.
Hey, Yo, I like you.
fired.
That's for you, Art Wharton. If you ever's out there, we trash fans.
Yeah, straight trash.
Straight trash. Truck juice. At the end of the day, feel how you feel. I think we can all agree on the panel that the community needs to be built up. Honestly, we had a whole bunch of other geek news there, but I don't want. But we on a different vibe right now. Phoe-Nix. Oh, bruh. I do a lot of talking, and this ain't gonna be one of them times. You went down to Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? Over it.
Over and down, yeah.
Over and down. Somewhere around there. Geography wasn't our strong suit. I understand.
That's what I told Eric. He was like, we're near Texas. I was like, yeah, man, right below it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I make it a point not to go anywhere south of Atlanta. I'm dead serious. But you got the opportunity to experience Black Wall Street. Could you tell us about that?
It's like anywhere else. You'd never know anything had been dirty. You know what I'm saying? Like the books have been changed. You go down City Hall, you see the plaques everywhere. Chunk of history tell you what happened. It's just like a void.
They ain't telling you the real.
When it comes to us, there's always a void because there's always a dirty history about how they got to where. And this is go into the athletes and everything. They've always benefited from our genius and talent.
Right.
And have always been jealous of it.
Well, Cotton Gin was made by a black man.
You know what I'm saying? And never want to give you credit.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. Right? We can spend all night on that.
Right.
You have a town where folks just like me and you who wanted a better life out there, got their land, built it up, same way. What you building up first? All right, we'll help you out. Once that's finished, we'll come over here. Once that's finished, we'll go help them out. And over time, you got a community of 20 that had 21 millionaires in it. And then we're talking about.
And it was 3 towns, but that was like that.
There's a lot more behind that. Because Oklahoma was about to be a black state at one point, you know. And also we had the Native Americans from the Trail of Tears. So you had this focal point of.
I apologize. I don't mean to interrupt you because I want you to continue. But I just thought about something.
What's up?
Real quick. For those who might not know what we're talking about, Black Wall Street. What?
Black Wall Street was built up by us in Oklahoma, and it was one of the most
free black men.
Yeah, and women, and the community. It was. If you see the pictures of it, if you see the history, it's immaculate. You would think it was something maybe 20 years ago, the way these photographs look, because.
So think Atlanta. Back then,
right?
Chocolate City, you know the true Chocolate City. As a matter of fact, they say Black Wall Street had 600 businesses, 21 churches, 21 restaurants, 30 grocery stores, 2 movie theaters, 6. This is the thing that blew my mind: 6 private airplanes.
Absolutely.
6. We had our own transit system.
Everything.
1 hospital, 1 bank, and its own school system. You had an education system, you had a financial system by means to fund everything because that black bank was giving out black loans to black people to build black infrastructure. You had entertainment, movie theaters. You had the main source of thing because you don't want any food deserts, 30 grocery stores. 30 grocery stores. There ain't 30 grocery stores in my neighborhood, let alone this entire community. 600 businesses, 21 churches, so you already had a morality base, and 21 restaurants, and 6 airplanes. So we could do import, export.
That's where it was going. They said they were right there at the cusp when I talked to one of the elders down there. They had let that go on, it'd be international in no time because of how much they were putting out. I went to the warehouses. These places are like anywhere else. They're huge. Reminds me of some of the spots down here in Philly, like
the big warehouses, like how Delaware Ave was when they built it up. Remember how that? Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, and they try to downplay it from its greatness, but when you go down there and you talk to the people and you see what's left, even if you just see what's left, you know what I'm saying? It's like, we ain't got nothing like that back home to that degree as far as how.
But what did they do specifically? All right, so we understand Black Wall Street was this metropolis that was
the paradise. I'm gonna put it that way. The way they talked about it, the way
a black utopia.
The way the way it was displayed to us at the cultural center about just the level of, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
it was paradise.
Black Shangri-La.
Pretty much, you know what I mean?
All right.
We ain't worried about nobody else. We doing our thing. And that's the thing that's always separated us from a lot of other people, because when we focus on us and we do our thing, we are always prosperous. A lot of people don't like that, right?
Don't get me started.
And this is what happened. So after the war, you have a whole bunch of people coming back from the war.
Right.
They can't find jobs. These are mostly white men. They got all their guns and everything. Then you had the KKK putting out this propaganda. So now they turning these people who wouldn't even be on that level against us.
Right.
Because we got all
Hitler
this,
did the same thing.
You know what I'm saying? And
Well,
that's how all that happened.
most tyrants do the same thing.
And the thing people don't realize is it's not just this one town. This happened in 5 different states at one time. Yeah. And it was coordinated. It was, you got aircraft flying over, dropping ammonia bombs into the communities. You got, there's a building that sits right downtown. It's right, like, you can see it from the culture center. That's where they hang the dirigibles from, the little ports.
Right.
So they were doing a lot of planning behind this. This ain't something you just wake up one morning and say, hey, we're just gonna go burn these niggas out of here and chase them out of town. They planned all this. And then you got what they did, they looted everything first.
Wait a minute, hold on. Taryn Daniels said a huge cab company was preparing to take over. Exports were being prepared to move nationwide. And one of the things that I agree with her, this is a must for all black bucket lists. You know what?
That's why I said I wish you would have came in and experienced a lot.
Don't get me started. So I was supposed to go with them because when these brothers said, hey, we're going down there to Black Wall Street, Kurt, you want to roll with us? You know, listen, if there ain't no way in the world I wasn't going to. But unfortunately, my Black Wall Street wasn't kicking like it. My funds wasn't what it needed to be, and my job wouldn't give me the time off. But that's one of the reasons why we got Phoe-Nix in here today. Talk about not only that experience, but why it's important and relevant to us today, because you went down there to actually do research for some content that you're creating. Folks, I don't know if you can notice in the background, we don't have our normal banner up. Phoe-Nix is one of the most prolific artists, underrated, and I hate using that term underrated because he's not underrated to me. I rate him on a high scale, but he's one of those individuals whose talent supersedes anything that I've seen as of late. And I'm not going to say that he's going to reach fame and fortune, but I can tell you one thing. You can't do nothing but appreciate this brother's art. And tell me how art and history collides for you after this almost like this trip to Mecca, if you will.
We get to tell the story from our perspective. We felt. You go down there, you can feel it. It's still down there.
So you're writing a book. That's how it's specific.
Eric's writing a book.
Uh-huh.
I was there for the visuals, but it turned out a little bit more than what we planned when we got there, because once you start getting this information, then it becomes more of a spiritual joint. For me, it was a spiritual thing to reconnect with those, just that time era and that mind state that they were on. You know what I'm saying? And to think, we met this brother as soon as we walked in his restaurant. He walks up to us, eyes bloody red. You could tell he just came out of the shelter at home. He was like, brother, we need the dial. So, we hit him off with the dial. He's like, yo, anybody got any shoes? I was like, yeah, I just don't carry a pair of shoes like that. But, you know what I'm saying? Real shit. But what you're seeing is the PSD.
The PTSD.
PTSD, you know what I'm saying? You're seeing how something like that has affected through all this time, and then you look around the country, you see the same thing. It's like, where's the growth from these different, you know what I'm saying, to where we are now? We're still in this hole of
Black PTSD is a real thing.
Nobody wants to talk about it. There's a lot of trauma, and it's generational that carries over, and nobody deals with it.
Oh, you talking? Look, man.
So when you don't deal with it and just keep perpetuating, you can't protect the children from that, because it's in the school systems and the parents don't know. So they get sucked into the same vortex, and they become victim to the same thing that they became victim to because of
they just go ahead, Tef. I'm sorry.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, because I was about to say, they just keep rebranding the same persecution. And that's the thing that irks me.
We're not allowed to talk about it.
Well, that's why we build our own media outlets, such as this one, support mixed media revolution and Head Nerds in Charge. But that's the reason why we have, I'm such a huge advocate. And I say this, I said it while we were out there. If they won't let us in the door, let's build our own house. But the reason why it's not that way is because we don't know our own strength. We talk about, I'm sorry, I think Black Wall Street is a miracle, a modern marvel. It's beautiful. I'm not impressed. Before you get on me, this is why. Go to the pyramids. Go to the pyramids, then tell me about Tulsa.
Around the world, not just in Egypt.
Talk about the architectural genius it took to do what they did. Talk about how rich Africa was with its diamonds and gold and its rubies.
That's what they called it down there. It's called Little Africa.
And now, if we can do that in a continent away, there's no reason why there shouldn't be a Black Wall Street in every major city, because that's where we populate, because we're community based. Even though you don't know it, we ain't out in the stick. Yeah, your cousin out there, but the majority of us are still community based, tribally based, and we like to live on top of each other because that's where we come from. That's Kurt's personal opinion.
So how this ties in with the art? We were having a conversation at the bar over drinks, and
that's my favorite kind of conversations to have.
You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is, whoever controls the image is going to control the game from jump. Because even me and Eric had this conversation, because he's a very prolific writer. He's very popular. He's very good at it.
Right.
But I told him, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm going to get him first. You know, it's no diss, because they're going to see this before they read the book. And that's just with everything else that goes on in our communities.
Right.
If they can get to the kids first with this certain type of image, and bam, they're gone. You don't have to worry about them no more because it's embedded. You know, it's going to take a lot to get that out of there. So, but now we're getting a chance to tell our own stories from our own perspective and heal these traumatic wounds.
Is it going to be a comic book or a literary book?
It's probably going to be like the rest of the previous ones. It'll be a novel, but it'll be a caption novel. It'll have pictures for each chapter.
Gotcha.
We're going to bring characters back to life, literally. A lot of the people that were down there that were well known. There was a doctor down there who said he was the best neurosurgeon in the country. People from the white side of town used to come see his ass. That's how bad he was.
That's a bad man.
Yo, and you
get white folks.
That's how they say in the
Dr. Shapiro, I appreciate you, but Dr. Johnson got my gout out of there.
He got it. You know what I mean? So we've never been short of genius, never been short of talent. It's always been an outlet. It's always been the us trying to fit into somebody else's mold. And that's part of what's going on with that, is that we haven't gotten out of that. We don't need anybody else's definition.
Right.
We don't need anybody else's interpretation of us but us. And when we get there, that's how Black Wall Street happens.
So how do we recreate Black Wall Street in the modern era? Yeah, I just hit you. Yeah.
You know, it's
and that's a question to everybody. If you have an opinion on it, if you're on the chat, how do we recreate Black Wall Street? Because you know Kurt got a million one ideas, but I want to hear y'all.
We have to arm the generations coming, and we got to stop putting the responsibility on.
When you say arm, what are we talking about?
We talking about the information.
Oh, I'm about to say I'm with that.
We talking about the identity. We talking about all this because once you know something, can't nobody take that from you. Basically, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, knowledge is the only weapon they can't disarm you from.
And also taking on the responsibility. There's got to be a generation that sacrifices the fuck out of itself, because our generations have been handed down these traumas and things, and it's almost unjust in a way that we have to hand that off to the kids because motherfuckers can't get together and get a store, so everybody can go to college and do all this.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Okay, yes, and I'm not being combative, but we can.
We can.
We can do it right now. Us old mother brothers that grew up in the 80s and the 90s, yeah, we carry the sins of our fathers, but we are the ones that have to. If we're going to be the ones to teach the next generation, can we please implement some of this garbage, please? Right. That's all I'm saying. What's the point of knowledge if you do nothing with it?
Nothing with it.
So So yeah, in an instance like this, I hate to use it as an example, but it's a perfect example. If I have a media outlet, be it small that it be, if you're an artist and a content creator and you need people to know about it, come together. Don't dig in his pockets and say, hey, you know, to come on my show, you got to pay X amount of dollars. Or, hey, Kurt, for me to come on your show, you got to pay X. No, let's support each other. Let's build our own infrastructure. And now you, the viewer, now it becomes up to you. Because you could be resharing this video. Think about it. Everybody who's sitting there, if you're sitting here and you're enjoying this conversation, you're enjoying this commentary, and you're sitting there saying, yeah, it takes you all of 5 seconds to hit the share button.
So your 20 friends and they 20 friends and they 20 friends.
Because if this ain't a conversation that we all need to be having.
Right. But there's a lot of illness out there.
Ooh, talk. All right, Mom, now you can't just drop a dime and not.
It's a lot of illness out there. The mindset, some of us are so sick, we scared to move. We're scared to get together and make a move to have our own. We all get together and the next, like he said, we gotta arm them. They like, oh Lord. He's talking about arming people. I'm not trying to make them mad, and then they end up shooting me somewhere.
Right.
You understand? But
no, I understand wholeheartedly. Because we have somebody new in the chat. Gretchen Westfall says, start by making a really good college that helps the community better themselves. Community outreach is an important part of it.
Without putting the kids in.
And I was about to, that final caveat is the most important one. Free education. I have no idea why we allow this to go on till high school, but the most important piece of education that gets you an actual job.
Actually, and can we just say, stop pushing kids to go to college? You can go to like a trade school, get a skilled trade, be out of there like 20 and be making making crazy money.
Let me tell you something. We actually produce our show out of a trade school. Come on down to the Philly Tech School, which is formerly the Berean Institute, because guess what? It's old school. These young black, and I mean, there are African Americans all up and through this place. Guess what? They are learning a welding trade. You know how much welders make on average? 6 figures. You get 20 graduates. You now have over $2 million into the economy.
I found out, brother told me, you can start the day in Greenwood with your own money, put your name on it, and by the end of the day, you'll get it back. Just because it just circulated through the whole community. It was to that point where it was just that much love. Like, it didn't need to leave. It didn't need to leave. There was nothing that we wanted for it because we had ourselves. And that was the most important. And everybody fit into their, you know what I'm saying?
That demographic.
You know, well, no, just like everybody had their roles that they fit into perfectly. So, you know what I'm saying? Even if you was a young boy just starting off, well, you might deliver this or that, you get your change, you go out and buy something, then later on the day you come back around, somebody paying you for the service, and you get that same dollar back that you put your name on.
So here's interesting. Watch Trigger Warning from Killer Mike on Netflix. You know it. Look, watch Trigger Warning. This is your homework. We giving you tangible homework. Watch Trigger Warning. I ain't even telling you to read a book. Watch Trigger Warning from Killer Mike on Netflix. He talks about how statistically in most ethnic communities it takes 6 people for that money to come back around to you. Do you know what it is in the typical black community? It's 30 people. 30. It got to go through 30 different institutions before the black dollar comes back into the community. 30. It's the worst of any demographic. Because we take our money and...
That was going to be the point I was making. Make conscious decisions to buy from black vendors. Support small black business. Support your friends' businesses.
And black businesses stop being on that nigga shit. Because we gotta go both ways with it.
That part.
Because we gotta go both ways with it. If you ain't putting out quality and shit like that, of course you giving a bad name to everybody. And they want to buy no black shit because you fucking it up,
right?
Being greedy or whatnot. But I just had to side note. I didn't mean to cut.
No, but listen right now. As a matter of fact, in this conversation, I'm gonna shout my man Shannon out. He has a website called iCraftMart, ICRATEMART, craftmart.com. He is a distribution hub for products made by Black people, handmade, handcrafted. It's not mass distributed. It is literally, they're making it in their own production facilities, and it's great stuff. Shea butter for the beard. Mine won't connect. I plan to buy some soon. He said they got some hair grow. I'd say you a liar. Don't get me hype. He said I got that African Yohimbe root for the bald spot in the back of your head. That's why I wear this crown. Don't judge me. iCraftMart.com. Stop playing, y'all.
What that is?
See, ain't nobody tell you to go look.
Man.
See, that's why Black people can't support nobody, because you try to look at the ceiling and my roof.
I thought it was just the light.
No, this is terrible. You ain't never.
Well, no, that's like I was telling you earlier. Like, I made a conscious decision to buy makeup from a Black, smaller owned brand, and I was like, you know what? I don't need to give my money to these big brands who, like, my dollars don't make a difference.
Amazon don't need one more of our dollars.
Right, it's like if I could spend money,
the 2-day shipping.
support somebody.
Nah, I'm sorry. Your mom said 2-day shipping. That ain't gonna front. That prime.
That
prime. Listen, can I get a nigga prime? I'm just saying it'll say 2 days and get there in 5. I'm just joking. It's bad.
Wow.
I know, because you know what? There is a Black cell phone. Watch Trigger Warning. There's so many products that we don't know are Black.
Make good decisions, good conscious decisions. Support Black businesses and Black purveyors of these businesses. Don't shy away from putting out quality products.
Yeah. Thank you, Joe. Joe dropped the website on there.
Yeah, don't let them tell you nothing, man. Because like when I did the first coloring book, it was mainly for girls of color. I had people come up, well, why didn't you put such and such and so and so? I'm like, you ain't hear us say that shit when Disney was putting out all this shit. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, y'all building y'all
that part.
You know what I'm saying? Well, it's our job to give our children and our people what they need.
We just apologize. Me and Tef literally just had to apologize to Phoe-Nix, and not on some old just because this is my man, but we were getting stuff together for the charity event for the tea party for the young ladies. One of the things that we wanted to do was put women empowerment literature, whether it be a comic book or a book, in their goodie bag with a toy or something else, something cute. We was pricing stuff on Amazon. We were pricing stuff on Amazon and everything, and then I mentioned it to Phoe-Nix, and Phoe-Nix was like,
"This ain't the most beautiful little girl right here."
Listen. We didn't even tap our own resource while he was sitting in the building, and he had the audacity to give us a better price than what we were willing to spend.
Way better.
So to offset that, I have full intention to use every bit of our resources to conscionably start doing what we need to do to support not only Black content creators, but support ain't always asking for something for free.
These are our stories, man. These are personal. These are what we relate to. And within these stories, we have a chance to put that healing factor in that subconscious, which is the same thing that they've been doing against us, is planting that. I mean, it's a process.
Listen, y'all. We could talk about. I'm mad that we already at the 10 o'clock hour. I can't even. Child, look. Honestly, we had a lot more to talk about. But I want to, we'll wrap it up in about, let's say 10 or 15 more minutes.
Yeah, because I might catch my ride.
Because we did start late. But I'll just say this, Don, you got Killer Mike dialed up.
And for anybody interested,
if you don't, it's okay. It's
anybody interested in learning more about the Tulsa thing, I put a lot of videos and live
tell them what your Instagram is.
So you'll find those on the Facebook page at Phoe-Nix Nebula. It's PHOE-NIX. And on Instagram it's Phoenix.nebula.9. That's for just pictures and everything. But if you want more on that Tulsa, you can hit my page up, and you can hit Eric Cooper's page up as well, because he's a brother that put the whole thing together.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got to get your props to
listen,
your people. Always give your props.
Eric Cooper, you are definitely a pioneer in trying to rebuild a new Black Wall Street.
Right.
He put together a comic book convention solely for the purpose of bringing together not only PLC, but all disenfranchised, underrepresented content creators, put them in a space where they could all highlight their work. One of the best comic book conventions we've been to this year, and we haven't been to a lot of them, but it was the one that meant the most. And
yeah, the vibe in there, you couldn't explain that.
We had 2 more things that we were going to talk about, but we'll save the last one for another day. I just want to talk about, because we keep it on the same line. No, don't go to it. It's okay. Listen. Oh, you have it up? I know. Listen, no. Just play it while we talking, but take the audio off of it if you don't mind. Can you do that? Listen, if you get a chance, go over to Head Nerds in Charge Instagram page. Just go over to the Head Nerds in Charge Instagram page. That is
Stop! Everybody!
NERDSINCHRGE. I spelled that right. All right, good. You know, we don't have no black educational systems up there. And if you get a chance, there's a video of Killer Mike, and I really go watch it, y'all. Please just watch. It's a 7-minute video. That's the only reason why we don't want to play it now, because we're already at the late hour. We don't want to wait 7 minutes and then come back to the conversation, because it can be long, but it doesn't feel like 7 minutes because it's 7 minutes of his foot in your behind, letting you know. And Killer Mike is so articulate, but urban, direct, but poignant, intelligent, but exactly what people need to hear at this time and place in life. And I love emulating my particular style after Killer Mike, because Killer Mike isn't about black or white specifically, it's just about truth. One of the things he said, hey, you know, there was this young lady named Candace, I forget what her name is. She's a Trump supporter, she's Republican, and she's a black young woman. And most of that panel trashed her. For good reason, because she says a lot of dumb stuff. But when she's right, you got to give people their credence and their credit when they're right.
Right.
We always say, make America great again. Well, when was America great? The typical answer is never. But Killer Mike said, wait, no, there was a period of time where America was great. He brought up right after the Civil War. But this is not something that we automatically, even if we know about it, we don't default to that ideology, because there's a reason why Black Wall Street had the opportunity to grow the way it did. It had to be left alone, right? I mean, flowers only grow when you don't kick them over. And during that period after the Civil War, after the free black men were able to build their own infrastructures, and I'm going to surmise Killer Mike, please don't think Kurt is disintelligent, but this is just, I'm surmising what he said. He said, we were the skilled labor. These white folks, they weren't doing the menial jobs. They weren't reshoeing people. They weren't the welders, the craftsmen, the masons. We were the ones. So now, instead of, remember, they've gotten free labor all these years. And guess what you got to do now? Now you got to pay me. Now you got to pay me. And guess what? You got to pay me top dollar, because I'm the only black man in the entire county that knows how to do it.
Right. And I'm the best at it.
And best at it. I.e., if you ever seen Rosewood, movie starts off with the dude walking up to men reshoeing horses. Reshoeing horses was deemed to be a menial job at the time, but then it became a valuable job because horses became the main resources for travel. So what you gonna do? You need me now. You wanna see, before everything was in walking distance because you only stayed in your town or your community. Now we have all this infrastructures and horses and carriages and buggies. You need horseshoers. We was doing all the horseshoeing for massa. Now we doing it for ourselves. If you got your mic? If you don't have your mic.
Look, I took American history and I was American history major.
Hold on. I hate to say it because it's hard to hear you for the listeners.
This damn thing over. Because in the letters of secession, 14 states stated clearly that if black people left, the state would die because they had no one that could actually learn the trade. Georgia actually said that most of their citizens were too dumb to learn an actual trade. It said the lack of poignant knowledge in most of our residents were so low that we had to rely on Negroes. If the Negroes leave, this is from Georgia. They say if the Negro leaves, I will not. He says that I cannot think what could fathom our crops, what could fathom our houses would just fall, farms would decay, and then they tried to play it, and you can't get the stuff you need from us because it'll be gone forever.
Well, that ties in. Listen,
that still holds true today.
It ties into immigration too, because y'all keep trying to ship people out of here, and y'all ain't gonna go pick them oranges. But that's a whole nother conversation. I'm not saying who pick oranges. I'm just saying there's a demographic of people.
You need to cut it out, man. You know goddamn well.
I know who picking the oranges. It ain't me. Stop trying to kick them out. We need that. I'm tired of orange juice being $7 a gallon.
You say horseshoes, man?
I said orange juice. Orange juice.
It sounded like horseshoes.
Because I'm hyped now. But that's. Oh, am I being scary? I've had the angry black man talk too. But Killer Mike kind of rounded off everything by pointing the finger at African Americans and even those rich black people at the Revolt Summit. Go to Revolt TV on Instagram. You can watch a lot of things. T.I. has some good things to say too. But what I love what Killer Mike said, and then we can talk about it. He said, until you're ready to walk away off the job tomorrow, each and every one of you, until every sports star is ready to walk away from their contract and not show up to work, until every person from the top political job down to the most menial, if you're black and you're not ready to walk away, then don't talk to me about nothing of this, because all you're here for, and he looked at the panel and said, all you here for is a sound bite. You want to say something that's, oh, this is going to sound good and one up this one. He said, how about let's take the good of what you have to say, you have to say, you have to say, and you have to say, make a 10-point agenda and let's present it to the politicians. And I was like, oh, they're going to kill this nigga. And then he retorted with, if we make up 15% of the population in America, then we should be 15% of the music industry. We should be 15% of the movie industry. We should be 15% of Wall Street. We should be 15% of politicians. And he said, until you as a demographic hit the 15%, he said, you failed. He pointed to Puffy and said, Puffy worth about almost $1 billion. He looked at Puffy and said, you fail, and F y'all. Killer Mike cusses. I don't know if y'all knew that. But in your opinion, is that too radical, or is that exactly what people need?
Motherfuckers need to hear, because you're just gonna go home and do the same shit again after, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You get back in that little comfortable, complacent rut, and accept the way and the conditions instead of like just that one chance to go out. It's kind of like that Braveheart shit, that speech.
Yeah.
If you had that one chance to go back and show these motherfuckers that
what time it is,
you know what I'm saying? You would give it up, you know what I mean? Because you ain't gonna do nothing but repeat what your parents went through, what their parents went through, all the way back to where this pain and all this degradation began. You feel what I'm saying?
Those that don't learn from history are doomed
to repeat it.
And I'm not one for quotables, but man,
there's a lot of water now because.
What are you gonna do?
It's just. Huh?
That's what I'm saying. What are you willing to do? What are you? I, as a young man, took a job in the federal government very early on. I was 19 years old. I've been there for 15 years. Took a nice, safe job. Didn't go to college because that wasn't my thing. I lost a couple scholarships, but that was a fun time. Anywho, what I say that to say, only in the past 3 years, after my own self-reflection, education, and whatnot, did I say, you know what? This ain't me. And I need to do something different. I met up with a lot of other people who are like-minded, and together, I can't even say it's my, but there are great people who do a lot of great things on a day-to-day basis to help to make this show go. And each and every one of them bought into the concept and the dream of, we're going to build our own content creation company. I still to this day, hands down, think media is how you change everything. Short of God. And what the Lord gonna do, the Lord gonna do. I ain't mess with that man's plan.
Media.
But my thing is, in the interim, imagery. Pictures of beautiful black girls.
Once you see it, I got you.
Warriors.
Once you see it, I got you.
When you have art.
Can't take that away from nobody.
And when you're telling stories that we don't. I know more about Christopher Columbus, who was a pirate, a liar, a cheater, a thief, that's BS, than I do about Crispus Attucks. That's what I said? Look, see, I didn't even know the nigga name. Was that wrong? It's
on, man. We get you, man.
It's my media. I say what I want.
We understand.
Thank you. What I'm saying, but that's what I mean. That's a blurb. It's literally a blurb. I remember it just being a picture on the wall.
Yeah.
And why would you take interest in that?
As somebody who helped. He wasn't.
Right.
He wasn't a nigga that found anything.
When you control that image, you can say anything. And as you bleach somebody else's perception out and insert yours, you can do anything. You can mistreat these people, and they're gonna go for it because they ain't got nothing else to stand on. You know, I was mad at Philly. I told a friend of mine I was really mad at Philly a couple weeks ago. I looked in the paper. They had that kids down at the park or whatever celebrating 400 years of slavery or some shit. They walking around with the little posters and all that. Like, they only focus on this 400-year gap when we got trillions of light years of. I'm not gonna get that far, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, we got this whole. We got this much of some slavery, some bullshit where niggas was on some auto tunes, you know, some fake ass shit up in there, you know, just about that big. But then you go back here.
And it's all its history.
And you gotta stretch that. I shouldn't even put the.
Go ahead, because I think we about.
That's what I tell people. It's like black people's history doesn't start with slavery. Like for you to say they didn't go to Africa and take slaves. They went to Africa. They took doctors. They took like warriors,
educators,
like healers,
mothers, and everything.
Exactly. They didn't go to Africa. Like we wasn't slaves just standing around waiting to be conquered. We were building stuff. We had our own communities. We're trying to build our own infrastructure. White explorers came to Africa and learned from us. Like where
how to navigate,
how to clean,
right. Like all that stuff they took from us, right? And went back, and now they trying to say it's their own. Like, and all we get is we was slaves, man.
You gotta just gotta look at the culture today. I want to add, because I'm on a train, and it's funny. I don't know how y'all feel about hearing other races say our lingo, like it's theirs, and like it's like you hear that.
Everybody want to be black until it's time to be black.
Everything we put forth is accepted until it comes from the fuck us.
Well,
you feel what I'm trying to say? But they take everything.
But this is the reason why. This is the reason why. Black history did not start as slavery, but Black American history did. Okay. That's what the problem is. And that's the realest I can make it, because until the Black African hit the American soil, he hit it as a slave. He hit it, and that was the history. And guess what? Everything that came before was either beat out, genocide, or breeded out. Now, we, the Black American, are not Black Africans. And that's a hard thing for me to say. Now, hear me out when I say this. Look, Phoe-Nix cut his eye, had me hard.
I ain't cutting out your head, man.
No. Because
I was going to come for you.
The Black African looks at the Black American, and he does, and for a lot of them, they don't see brother. For a lot of them, they do. It's a cultural thing, and I get it. Because guess what? And to quantify my point, I say to people, all right, you tell me, if I dropped you in Africa, how you gonna go home? Who's your family? Do you even know who your bloodline is?
I'm American.
We're so Americanized. We're so Americanized.
I'm American. My people built this. This is my country.
And that's the ownership that
it was everywhere before anybody. I just want to put that out. If you'd never heard that before, before Columbus was here, or any of these other races were here, we were all over this motherfucker.
Now,
you gotta claim
I agree
that
with you.
shit.
I agree with you, but I just want to quantify that
You
as
gotta claim that.
no.
I'm done for the night.
No, I agree with you, but when we say that, that was because we all, as a human race, came from color. Now, as we deviated out into other lands, and yes, the melanin dissipated in some, because that's what unifies us as the human race. That's all I'm saying.
But we ain't never dogged nobody the fuck out. We gave everybody in this world every fucking. How we get you. It's a point where you gotta get mad.
But that's why it's so
you gotta
visceral.
use that anger.
That's why the reaction is so visceral when we say we want to do stuff just for us. Like we're telling people, oh, you're not gonna give to us anymore.
These motherfuckers would
no.
starve.
Hold on. I'm big on.
Which we probably wouldn't anyway.
I'm big on accountability. Don't say we didn't dog nobody else, because you know what? You know who black Africans dogged out? Other black Africans that sold them into the same white slave. Look, I'm not.
Deal with them too.
You can be mad at Kurt all you want, but a lot of them slaves came through trade. Now, did they have the exact conception of what slavery was? That they didn't know. Because a slave in most African cultures was like an indentured servant or a part of the family. As a matter of fact, if you look into the Bible, it kind of breaks down how you were supposed to treat slaves. They had a similar infrastructure in that they became part of the family. But if you were a captor from another tribe,
the Native Americans,
you were learning
you were part of the family.
They adopted us. Yeah. So all I'm saying is, let's not say we ain't do nobody dirty. We done did some dirt.
We just did it,
but not to the scale.
Yeah, we did it different
of the transatlantic slave trade. That's the difference. We didn't take it into.
Man can still walk through our neighborhood, and he good, but we can't walk through their neighborhood.
Well, between redlining, the financial infrastructure that they burned down, not just Black Wall Street, but across the board, because genuinely people weren't even allowed to buy property, weren't allowed to participate in proper education systems, things of that. We weren't allowed to do a lot in the last, it's 2019, 1919? In the last 100 years, I can't even say it. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be black in 1919. I'm just saying, honestly, I wouldn't want to be black in the 70s. And I'm an 80s baby. I wasn't too far out of it. If my mama and daddy had met a little bit earlier, good Lord.
Think about World War I, where they went to blacks. Hey, you'll earn enough to get a house when you come back.
Well,
you can't buy a house when you come back.
I'm gonna just say this, and I'm gonna read a few of the comments. Hassan Warren said, Paul Mooney said it best. Everybody want to be a nigga, but nobody want to be a nigga. Addison Lee says, we are half and half, both African Americans. We're African Americans start in America, and our ancestors are African and European. We can own both sides of that. Can we own both sides of that? I think so. I think to be a black, I hate that 3/8 blood foolishness. That's some old slavery, Jim Crow bull crap that carried over. If a child is multicultural and he has white parents and black parents, or you have white blood or black blood, you whatever you deem as a black American, you choose what you want to be. When Tiger Woods said, "I'm not just black, I'm also Asian," hey, everybody got all mad at him. Why?
I wasn't mad at him. I just wanted him to understand that you still a nigga to them.
At the end of the day,
it don't matter.
We accept you. They don't mean they gonna accept you. Addison concluded with, "We are the new race, born out of fire and surviving against all odds. Our triple great grandchildren will have us to thank and be proud of. Have us to thank and be proud of for all we fight to give them." Go ahead, boy. You need to bring it behind on the show. Mary Pupple says, the Reconstruction era was one of the most profound and imaginative in all literature. Yeah, I say we were pretty good then. Honestly, we talked about a lot. And Gretchen Westphal says, what about Native Americans? Let me tell you something. The only people done just as dirty as black folks was Native Americans. And here's my only caveat that I say that makes the difference between the black American and a Native American. Native American have built-in protections, laws, and lands for the dirt they did to them.
Okay.
It's not enough.
It's a, no.
It's not enough.
Oh no, by no stretch of the imagination is it enough.
The history of the Seminoles, they slaughtered those people. They they went from 2,000 to 200 in 2 years.
Yeah, it's bad when you become an endangered species. No, you know, if you don't think that the Native American is an endangered species, go into any major metropolitan area and find me 5 Native Americans. Anywhere.
Can't do it.
Barely find one.
Go onto their reservations and see how poor their infrastructure. See
They're
how
all
terrible their
alcoholics.
education.
And it's the same thing with them too. How they were infiltrated now.
Right.
All they know is this way of life because they saw their grandfather go through. You know what I'm saying? And
So it's the same cycle.
Yeah.
People listen.
And that's the thing. We're here to break these cycles, right?
Yo, and that's what we try, and that's where it starts with us, honestly. And this is not a beat up white people day, because guess what? There were just as many abolitionists that were Caucasian that was helping to support to break down these type of oppressive systems. And guess what? Not every slave. I think it was only 2% of Americans, slave owners were only 2% of the population. So we're talking about actual slave owners. Right. It was a rich class. Because poor whites did not have slaves. And
guess who's still running the country?
Right. Yeah, don't get me started. It's still the same.
Those same 2%. Those same families.
But y'all don't want me to start talking about the Koch family, the Rothschilds. Y'all, I don't want them to shut us down because Zuckerberg still owns Facebook. We get ready to get up out of here, but I want to just say this. Y'all took a small step. When I asked y'all to share this feed, we were at 27 shares. I just looked back. There was 51. 56? Yeah. Y'all dope. And
it's just that simple. It's just little things we do for each other. It ain't be like you got shot $1,000 to help the show or something like that.
Oh no, we'll take that.
We take that. We'll take that. We'll take that.
I was about to like, Nick. No. Listen, I got to pay for these books. Yeah.
Kurt's Cash App.
Yeah. Y'all know Kurt's Cash App stay open.
If you can do it. If you can do it.
No, Phoe-Nix hit the nail on the head, and you can't say it better. If you can do the smallest things, we can do greater things. Remember, the best thing about ants is no one of them can make a difference, but you put all of them together, leave
that ego shit alone, man, that pride, man.
And that's not, and I'm not even saying that to just black people. I'm talking about everybody. Could you imagine the swing and shift if African Americans came together to build their own infrastructure and then had the support of their white brothers and counterparts to say, hey, here's a little bit of what I got to help you rebuild. Not because it's owed to you, but because I recognize your pain and trauma and I want to help heal. Last bit of homework, because sometimes you got to simplify stuff for stupid mother brothers. This is what I want you to do. I want you to look up a children's book. It's called Stone Soup. It'll teach you a great lesson in community and pulling together and building from nothing. Stone Soup, look it up, read it to your children. And if you ain't seen your children, go get them up from your baby mama's house or get them from grandmama's house, because she 87 years old. She tired of watching your kids. She already raised you. Stop doing that to her on the weekends. Get your kids, read the book. We getting ready to get up out of here, but Phoe-Nix, if you can, where can we find your content? Where can we follow up? Where can we support at? Come on, slide up to the mic. Don't look. This is the important part.
Yeah. You can send that money to PayPal, right? No, but I take orders through Facebook and Instagram. Anything you see up there is up for grabs.
Beautiful.
Do original work, commission work, and of course I got the prints. So the prints I dropped off for the crew.
Listen, come on, y'all. Come on.
Oh yeah. He got what you get? You got the Star Crew. Come on, man, throw it up there. We trying to make this in. And then Instagram, Phoe-Nix.nebula.9. For the Facebook, you got to make sure you put the hyphen PHOE -NIX, so you can check my business page. Unique Individuals Inc. INK Inc.
And Mom, you got to make sure you come through again. And you can't just be no straight. Yeah, all right, I'm about to say, we're going to have to come down to Florida. You're already in a
Oh, come
Interesting
on
state. No, I ain't going to Florida no time soon.
Wow.
Nah,
So them little tourists start settling down.
Y'all shoot niggas like hotcakes down there. You gonna stand your ground with me? Nah. But you can come up anytime in Philly where I know who gonna shoot me.
I'll be back for Thanksgiving.
All right, say less. Tef, anything to say before you got out of here?
Please follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
You look so happy to say that.
Look, somebody gotta say it. At Head Nerds in Charge, you can also follow me. My Facebook page is Teffy Wonder, the Mocha Mermaid. I'm at Teffy Wonder on Instagram. We're Head Nerds in Charge everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch. We also have a karaoke event hosted by Mixed Media. Coming on October 2nd. Is going to be right after the show.
Yep, and it's a $200 grand prize. So if you know how to perform your behind off and you're not afraid of a little karaoke, and we advocate for all cosplayers to come in and dress as the person that you're performing, you'll get a couple bonus points and you might win the cash prize. We putting money in your pocket so you can put money in ours. So come on.
Right. You can also catch us at J1Con November 1st, 2nd, and the 3rd at the Atlantic City Showboat Hotel. We'll be there all weekend. Kurt is hosting the cosplay prom.
There'll also be a twerk contest at the cosplay. No, I'm dead serious. Y'all think I'm playing. There will be a twerk contest.
I'm wearing sneakers.
Listen, and guess what? It is not gender specific. There will be a twerk contest and a prize at the prom. So come shake that money to make that money.
That monkey. Also, the cosplay contest at J1, there's a prize. You can win the trip to
Jamaica man, and Jason's in Jamaica right now doing big things. I can't divulge what's going on, but I got the inside scoop. J1 will be here at the end of this month, and we have next week. Yeah, it's the end of the month. Wow, time's going by quick. Next week we're gonna have exclusive, only Head Nerds in Charge official information on J1 Con. There's so much dopeness going on. It's looking like Kensington up in here. So we getting ready to get up out of here. I know I done picked on Kensington. Y'all know. Y'all get the reference, dope Kensington? Drug dealers. Anyway.
Oh, is that what that meant?
Listen, y'all. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the reshares. You do more of that. You do more of getting the message that obviously you're enjoying, because we're going to tell it to you just like we do it, whether it be at the barbecue, on the block, or anywhere else. We appreciate you for rocking out with us. You'll be here next Wednesday, 8 to 10 p.m.-ish. We still black. What can I tell you? I'm still on African time. Thank you, Don, on the Wheels and Steels, the ones and twos, for keeping us locked on the stream. Much love to everybody on the panel, and we will see y'all next week. We out.
Think better yourself.
Okay, bye. Hey, let's go to McDonald's. Come on, man. This nigga goof. McDonald's.